Well, it is indeed not going to be easy for Killer Freak. One thing on his mind, try to score as many as possible as we get underway for this game. Ghana-Niger rivalry series. We appreciate everybody who has contributed in any way, shape, or form. Whether you share the social media post, you like the social media post on it, whether you've even watched for 1 second. We appreciate every single one of you. You are part of the history that we are making right here. Mind you, this is just the first edition, and I believe there will be subsequent ones to happen, maybe even involving more countries. I'm just so delighted that we're able to pull things like this off. A couple of years back, Kalu, we look back on how we got into the FC scene in esports in Ghana. We never thought we were able to have 4 Nigerians here playing in a LAN event. Like, it looked impossible, but because of the help of some amazing sponsors, the likes of KD Sports, OSE Sports, VGA Sports, Ultimate Battle, Mashada Gaming, Foresight TV Machine, all these and more, just making sure that they pull through and getting us what has been surely one of the best tournaments on the continent so far.
Now, if you watch the tournament that we recently held in Kigali, right? I feel like there was actually much more like being invested there. But if you, in terms of production, it doesn't beat what we are doing here, because we've had 2 or 3 major tournaments held by VG and the factory of production, and all has been very, very like superb. It has been up there. GG's to all the sponsors.
Well, in regards of just evolving as a country when it comes to esports here in Ghana, I think you've got to give massive props to the VG and Factory of Production. I think since they've come in, they've surely elevated the level. And you go to Nigeria as well. Massive props to KD Sports and Game Evo. I believe they've also elevated the level of Nigeria esports. Credit to them heavily. As Montana and Killer Freak do battle in this game. Beckenbauer for Montana. Montana in that white, trying to get back on level, pegging out of all of the Ghanaian players. Possibly the most disappointing so far. And to be honest with you, if you had asked a lot of people who maybe will struggle as a Ghanaian, I don't think a lot of people would have said Montana, but the surprising thing is he just hasn't played this game, and usually that doesn't happen to Montana too many times. Killer Free can't still hold on to it as Harry Kane loses possession. There goes Montana. And these are 2 players who have met loads and loads of times. Remember that season esports Wicked Wednesday tournament, they did meet. I believe Killer Free got the edge of Montana, so there is a little bit of redemption on possibly Montana's mind.
Yeah, Montana has to make a statement, because we've all been talking about the pink advantage. But right now you are playing on 0ms. Everyone can actually see on the screen that you are playing on 0ms. So if you lose this match, you have no excuse. You basically have no excuse. What are you going to say?
Well, it's part of the reasons why we did this, like coming from an offside position. And credit to all of the organizations that actually organize online tournaments. I believe you guys, sometimes you're slept on, but you deserve your flowers as well. You keep the community alive, you keep everything going. As Montana testing the waters with the early Trivella. See how this corner plays out. Plays it short into Salah. Down the byline, Montana needs something positive going for him. Just can't beat that first press as Killer Freak will win it back. Those guys organizing online tournaments, season esports from Nigeria. I believe they're doing an amazing job keeping the community running. I think at first, they're organizing tournaments and it was just Nigerians that were playing. But now you see a lot of Ghanaians, Ivorians playing consistently. Credit to you guys. Plus Legends from Ghana, we salute you as well. GCB Battle from Ivory Coast, I say kudos to you. They keep like, you can't have a lot of LAN events, especially in Africa, because of the resources that maybe we might not have. But the fact that we make up for it with loads of these online tournaments, it keeps the players going, it keeps them motivated, it keeps them training at a very high level. And I give special props to all of these people. If I'm forgetting anybody, kindly forgive me. Ultimate Hub as well. Yeah. Credit to Zenas and the team. They are doing a tremendous job. Ultimate Battle also comes in a couple of times to do that. Killer Freak right on the edge of that defense, finding space. Montana trying to hold him off. Great tackle from Virgil van Dijk, but that was a tricky one. Could have landed anywhere.
But honestly, I feel in this game, Montana is playing way better than his other games. If he had actually played this way against maybe his previous opponents, he would have had some wins that maybe he drew or lost. Because he's really playing well.
I quite remember a Montana game against Killer Freak online. I was watching where I think it was Montana or Weissman, so he was leading by like 3 goals or 4 goals. And Killer Freak just switched it on and he made an amazing comeback. Killer Freak actually has a plethora of comebacks that he's made this year that's actually insane. I think he played an Ivorian. I don't know if it's CKE or New. I believe it's CKE. It was down by 4 and they were live, I believe, on Play With Tommy's TikTok channel, where he told everybody, I will come back, and he actually did it. That's insane. The talent that Nigeria has got on display. Kane, Ginola still holding on to it. So far, it's been Killer Freak creating a little bit of the half chances. We haven't seen clear cut so far. And Montana has done a great job of just neutralizing whatever the Cage 24 champion has thrown at him. Beckham Bauer, he can't hold on that for too long as Killer Freak wins back possession. Ginola, can he find the finger? He does actually, but he still goes back to recycle. And great recovery from Montana. Look, I believe defending an FC 25, timing is important. What do you think is more important, timing or switching? Because yesterday, I was like, even if you can time, you need to learn switching first.
Yeah, switching is something like part of the basics, right? It's like learning left stick dribbling. If you are not good at switching, the defense is nowhere near there because you are playing a high intensity game, like playing someone like Farouk and Fook and Padia. You have to always know when to switch and which player you are switching to. You always have, it comes down to this.
Great turn! Montana with his first big chance. Salah! Oh, that be the goal that team. This is Fortunes.
Wow.
What a finish that was. No. And you look at the bench. Look, when Salah had that ball, you saw Killer Freak shift the goalkeeper to the left. And I felt like Montana would shoot one time. He didn't. Still kept on going. Far post finish. Excellent.
He read a finesse shot, right? And Montana kept on going. But to play the low driven with Mo Salah's weak foot, I think this was one thing that Wonder Kid was talking about. It was like most of the goals he has scored, Kelvin, anytime they met in tournaments, was with players' weak foot. He was teaching Montana this, and then I like it that Montana has implemented it from the drawing board onto the big stage.
Look, I think weak foot, it can be taken completely out of the equation at this stage of FC because almost everybody has a 5-star weak foot, so it's actually difficult defending. But this advice, I'm sure those of you listening to Carlo, it works perfectly, especially when the game is released early. Great pass, Killer Freak in. There's been clear one-on-one chances that both Killer Freak and Farouk have missed that. It's just baffling.
This is what we always say about Killer Freak, defend the kickoff. He's so good at this. He's so good at the kickoff. That's awesome.
Well. Montana looking to turn the corner. Has been more or less a disappointing campaign for him so far. Just, I believe, 1 point to his name after 3 games. And is looking to right his wrongs in this game. Messi for Killer Freak. I feel had a great spell in those first few minutes, but since then it has been watered down a little bit with the Ghanaian now working his way back into this game. Great pass into Hole. That's more of the lofted part that we see a lot from him. In this game against Padia, we saw multiple of those where a Killer Freak now biding his time and looking for the space. We'll find Rafinha, Bellingham. There's Hullet. Kane still holds on to it as we're edging closer and closer to the end of this first half. Rafinha, Killer Freak, can he get one back? And well, that's what he needed, momentum changer. And you see Tommy Day right by his side saying, "Lord, there's one back, possibly more to go." Well worked finish that was from Killer Freak.
Now you watch the defense. You just spoke about switching, right? Even if you are talking about defensive timing, you see the timing was right from Montana, even then to throw the tackle, but the switching was bad. The switching was weak, so at that point you can't cover the passing lanes, and that is the problem. So switching, guys, you always have to be switching at the right moment.
Switching Very important. And Montana caught lacking again. And Keller Freak takes full advantage. Mind you, the way things are looking on the league standings, Keller Freak needs a positive result. And when I say positive result, possibly even a draw might not be enough. He needs a win. He needs those 3 points to keep this thing running. And that goal surely has set them right back on track. There's Montana looking to end this first half on a high. Rafinha running through that defense. Pelu confident on the ball and patient with it. Montana hasn't had the best of attacks so far this weekend, but it's creating something beautiful. That's a great pass. Oh, just couldn't find Salah on there. That was a great sequence from Montana, but still not on that yet. How's he still holding on to it? That would have been a lovely goal if that had gone in. Keller Freak with last-ditch defending. Montana so close to getting this lead back. Oh, this has been a very good game from both of the players. 45 minutes more to go in what has been an incredible weekend so far. I think we've had multiple tournaments this year where we've had high-level FC, but I don't think any of them compared to this, especially in Ghana. Like, can you think of any tournament that we had this year that compares to this level?
I don't.
Look, great level was high, like production-wise. Now, speaking of purely gameplay, skill level, because we are seeing 8 of the elites of the elites, actually, not just in Ghana and Nigeria, 8 of the elites when it comes to Africa. This is people that I'm speaking of that finishing top 10 when it comes to the SC Pro ladder ranking. Somebody like Farouk, Keller Freak, all making those lists and showing you how good they are. The level has been just something to admire, and I'm just hoping that in FC26 the level even goes higher, up a notch. You think in FC26 Africa has a chance to really make a statement? Because you go back to last year in the SC Pro World Championship, X-Sharif did a brilliant job of making sure he puts Africa on the map when that Moroccan did so well, reaching the semi-final of the SC Pro World Championship. This year, a couple of Moroccans have also done well. Sharif himself, I think, has done well. You've got to give credit to likes of Moza, Kaylan, Farouk. They've all done well to represent Africa on the world stage. But in SC26, what does the future hold, you feel like, for Africa?
I feel like the future is bright, but I've always said it's not just about the talking, it's about putting in the work. In Ghana, like this, we always talk about having the squad depth, but how many people are willing to go that far? Maybe someone.
What a pass! He finds Ginola! Oh! That is one that you have to applaud. Keller Freak. He just creates his own versions of this game in his head. The lofted pass into that channel was just so beautiful. Lovely finish to match as well.
Yeah, so as I was saying, we have squad depth, right? But it's not just about the talking. We have to put in the work. I always preach on content creation. We have to get ourselves out there. If you want big brands to follow, you want you want that good name. You want to be big. It's not just about playing the game. Tex doesn't really perform right now, like in some stages that we all root for him to perform. But see, he has got the RB Leipzig deal, and we ask why. Because he is him. He has put out that brand out there that he is big enough. You understand? Having him in your team is a big addition to that brand. So I always preach content creation.
Exactly. I think you said it perfectly right, and that's where I'll give massive respect to the likes of Keller Freak and Farouk. They've built their social media presence to a level where now, not just on a skill level, they're actually making sure that they are in conversations for even bigger things. And credit to yourself and Wonder Kid, as I think you guys are on the forefront of that for Ghana. So credit to all the guys who are not just playing but also creating really good content and building their social media image in this day and age. You've got to have a social media presence. Credit to everybody who's putting in the work, and if you are not, kindly consider doing so. It is massive in some of these discussions when push comes to shove. Pelu, Salah now, Montana, who started really well, has now been set back by that Keller Freak goal earlier. What a tackle that is. Mondini with the bruiser plus.
I think if it was a faster player, that would have been like a big chance. But Perlo, he doesn't have the pace to actually beat those fullbacks.
Ginola, great turn from him. Over the top through ball. Well, let's win that one before Mama. That's really both of them are very tall players, but of course, I feel like when two tall players meet, usually the defenders kind of have a little bit of an advantage in that sense. And I kind of understand. You don't want the offense too highly overpowered. You've got to make things fairly balanced, so you give the offensive player a little bit of that edge. Montana just hasn't had the control in midfield that he's looking for. You see him constantly trying to pass it through that midfield. Killer Freak just hasn't given him too many opportunities to do that. As we get into a pause at 65, and I think 60th to 70th minute is the most popular time that most of these pros take a pause. Is there a particular reason why?
I think at this point, it's just like in a football match.
Yeah.
Right? Fatigue starts setting.
And usually in a football match, 60 minutes that they make substitutions as well.
Madrid has made most of their comebacks from 68th minute. Right, I think from that time, fatigue starts to set in. So, if you are in the league, it's all about controlling the game and not having your opponent.
Rafinha gets the shot away, and Buffon with a superb save to still keep Killer Freak in front.
But if you are behind from the 68th minute, that is when you have to go in hard. Because I feel like at that point, you don't really have anything to do.
20 minutes to go in this enthralling encounter between two of the finest we've got on the continent. Killer Freak has the hope of the Eagles on his back, and he might get another one. I think he switched just at that last minute. He saw the position shooting Keza move to that far post, but then at the last minute tried to go near post with that one.
It's one thing we noticed about him. He always goes for the near post. He always wants you to make that little movement, then he brings it into the first post. So it's one thing that we've put in our books that we are really aware of.
Beckham Power, Montana playing with fire there as he loses possession. Killer Freak will capitalize as he wins it back impressively. Great running from Montana to be able to win it back. Is that pass on, man? Linkovic Savage. Wow, that's impressive to get back and win it. Killer Freak still holding on. 15 minutes to go. And our rivalry series match day 5 on day 2. You can't keep giving away there. Killer Freak of all people struggling to keep hold of the ball and gets it to a goalkeeper. You see the gestures from Tommy Day trying to calm down the situations for Killer Freak. Tempers are flaring and the pressure is getting high. Rafinha now for Montana. He's having the chances. Can he capitalize off of them? Cantona on the 10. Montana is looking beautiful. Reverse elastic will get the shot away. And it will just go wide.
I thought it deflected off a player.
Well, apparently, it was a miscued shot.
Wow. And as you see, from the 70th minute going, there's a bit of change in momentum, right? That's all we speak about. From that time, one person gets fatigued, and I always see it in Killer Freak's game. From that time.
Great pass into Pello. We see a little bit of ingenuity from Montana. Twisting and turning with Salah. It's looking beautiful. Just can't win it off. Milinkovic Savage, and he had spaces to pass. He had spaces to shoot. And they're just lacking that cutting edge. The Ghanaian visibly frustrated with the way he's playing. As Killer Freak holds on, roll that pass if he had gone through, surely would have been in. I guess it's a crime time, people. This is where the players make their metal. And today we've seen daggers upon daggers. Remember that part of our game against Killer Freak. And I'm sure that's a lesson for Killer Freak. And that's why he's not going too aggressively on the offensive end.
Pressing from him has gone down. That's like from Killer Freak. And I think Montana is not really taking his chances. He does too much. Too much. I always say it. That's the only problem I have with him. I feel like he's so good at attacking that he reads too much of his opponent's play instead of playing what he's supposed to play.
Well, there was some space for Killer Freak to find, but now it clearly tells you he's not going to risk it at all. Maybe this time you go for the kill. Rafinha down that byline. Well. We see the 10 from him. Hold it. Getting it once more. Goalkeeper comes to the rescue. Montana stays alive 5 minutes to go now. Does he have what it takes to upset Killer Freak? It's a bruiser battle right there. Maldini wins it. That's why you have players like that in defense. Killer Freak runs that out of play surprisingly. Cantona, Ronaldo, Montana trying to string a couple of important passes together, but just can't hold on to it. And he gets it right back to Killer Freak. 2 minutes to go now. Killer Freak needs this win, and he knows Nigeria needs this win as well. It all rests on him, but he just gets it away. The pressure mounting now a little bit, but does well to win it back.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately for him, ends up being a free kick for Montana. Rafinha on the 10. There's Ronaldo! How did he miss that? That's been the story of the game. And in fact, the story of the weekend for Montana. Right there in his face to grab a goal, and he just can't get it. Montana, one of the more clinical attackers in the country, has lost his scoring touch this weekend. And just about a few seconds ago, Killer Freak will hold on and give Nigeria hope. He stays alive, and the rivalry series continues with the possibility of Nigeria possibly leveling things up. It's a 9-point deficit for Team Ghana. We'll be right back.